Gathering here, for the last decade, I've been helping people overcome one of the most underestimated yet dangerous conditions of our times. And while most nephrologists will tell you that there is nothing you can do to stop the decline of GFR once you reach a certain age, I'm convinced otherwise. And in my experience, there is one strategy that always works despite the cause of the problem. It's taking care of toxins before they can do damage. You see, the filtering organs of the body that we are trying to protect are in contact with a huge amount of scores every day. Problem is, the more GFR declines, the more these scores accumulate, causing more and more damage. In my career, I've extensively studied the ways to get rid of these scores before they get in the system. The methods I'm going to show you in today's video are proven to work. Science is pretty conclusive about that. Now, most of the scores that cause real damage goes through the intestine before getting to the nephrons inside the filters of the body. This is exactly where we're going to stop them, because that's how you can delay and even avoid being tied to the big D machine. That's how you avoid RRT. According to science, there are 5 ways to do exactly that. And I've ranked in a top 5 based on how much studies there are and how effective these methods have been proven to be. Let's see what they are now. Number 5 is Kite-Sun. Kite-Sun is interesting for us because studies have shown that it can significantly decrease creatinine levels in people with ESRF. Now, Kite-Sun was tested on 80 people all undergoing RRT, and after a month, those taking Kite-Sun had a huge drop in creatinine levels, 13% as we can see here. This is an incredible result. So now you may ask, what is Kite-Sun and why is it so powerful? Kite-Sun is a polymer found in the exoskeleton of shrimp, lobster, and other crustaceans. It's used for its antioxidant and hypoglycemic properties, all of which can be used to aid in body weight reduction. Yes, that's the main reason why this product is commercialized. And it's worth noticing that these properties are also useful in the presence of a high-fat diet and other lifestyle habits linked to decreases in GFR. But Kite-Sun is not just a fat absorber. As we have seen, it can also absorb uremic toxins, and that's way more interesting for us. You see, in the study I mentioned, the reason why people already undergoing RRT were giving Kite-Sun was not to shed body fat. They didn't need to. It's because despite being on RRT, they were still experiencing some discomforts related to excess uremia in the body. But after taking Kite-Sun, they were able to sleep better, to have more physical strength and better appetite. Another positive effect documented in this study was a significant increase in the serum hemoglobin level. This means that anemia, which is a serious issue for those in stage 5 of CRF, was now under control. After this, CRF was extensively tested for its properties. Kite-Sun should be taken 30 to 60 minutes before eating, allowing it to become activated so that it can absorb the fat and or scores from the meal. And today, we know that taking 3 to 6 grams per day is perfectly safe. Also, according to a preliminary study in rats, taking vitamin C along with Kite-Sun might provide additional benefit in lowering cholesterol. But to achieve a reduction in creatinine levels of 13%, test subjects in the study only had to take 450 milligrams of Kite-Sun 3 times a day before meals for 4 weeks. But why is Kite-Sun so powerful in reducing creatinine levels? It works so incredibly well in reducing creatinine levels because it binds to uremic toxins in the intestines. You see, these kind of scores should never be left in the body. When the filtering organs are working properly, they are able to get rid of all these scores. In fact, one of the main indicators of GFR decline is the increased presence of a certain score called creatinine. Creatinine and urea are the 2 main uremic toxins, and removing them before they can do damage means directly improving GFR. This is why finding ways to remove these scores naturally, like chitosan does, is the most effective strategy in delaying and, in some cases, completely avoiding the big D machine. Now you may ask, if chitosan is so powerful, why is it only our number 5? Well, because there are 4 safer and more effective ways to achieve the same result. And also because chitosan was mainly used to alleviate the discomfort in those undergoing RRT. But on the other hand, some of the supplements we are going to see today were actually used to prevent people from reaching ESRD. Okay guys, time for our next entry. This is a powerful way of removing extra scores from the body. So powerful it was used to keep 5 people with ESRD away from the big D machine for up to 10 months. This is number 4, lactulose. Okay guys, let's talk about this study for a moment and see why it's interesting for us. This research was done on 5 people with ESRD. They all needed some form of RRT and some were waiting for a transplant. But none of them wanted or was in the condition of start the big D machine. So researchers came up with a solution to get rid of all the scores that are reason why people need RRT. Just like it happened with chitosan, all the focus here was on getting rid of nitrogenous waste, aka creatinine, urea, and so on, before it gets in the system, which means in the gut. Now, the way lactulose works is different from chitosan and some of the other supplements of today's video though. This is not a detoxifier per se. Lactulose is used to improve the amount of probiotics in the gastrointestinal tract, and this is a proven way to get rid of creatinine and other dangerous waste according to science. In fact, some studies found out that increasing the growth and ability of certain probiotics already present in the human body, usually bifidobacteria and lactobacilli, may play a very significant role in lowering creatinine levels in all the stages. Lactulose in particular is a synthetic sugar used to treat constipation. It is broken down in the body into products that remove uremic scores. This may result in a huge drop in creatinine levels. And while this is really helpful, it's worth noting that lactulose is not freely available in most countries. Now, a better way of helping gut flora without having to rely on behind-the-counter laxatives is number 3, psyllium husk. Now, this is one of my favorite supplements and it's really great in my opinion. It doesn't come with many of the possible sides of the other entries of today's video, and it has many of their benefits. This is because several studies conducted on people with CRF have shown that getting more dietary fiber either from fruit and vegetables, from fortified foods, or from supplements can seriously improve GFR in all the stages. As we can see in this study, just by adding more fiber, those in stage 3, 4, and 5 were able to see their creatinine levels drop by 7.5% on average after just 2 weeks. In this study, test subjects' GFR was 29.6 on average before the start, and after 4 weeks of fiber intervention, it was 32.5. And all that it took was adding fiber in various ways, including supplements. What they did here was just adding 23 grams of fiber for 4 weeks. So, consider adding more fiber to your regimen if you are not getting enough already. But please keep in mind that 23 grams per day of extra fiber are a lot. For example, one small apple peeled only contains less than 2 grams of fiber, and this is why psyllium husk is a great way to improve your GFR and lower your creatinine levels. Psyllium husk is a source of soluble fiber, the most precious form of dietary fiber, and with it, you will not need to eat tons of fruit and veggies to get your recommended daily fiber intake. So until now, we have seen two great ways to lower creatinine levels in those with advanced stage CRF, chitosan and lactulose, that also come with some possible sides. Now, psyllium, on the other hand, works best as a way to prevent the decline of GFR in people with earlier stages CRF. This is because psyllium needs a lot of water to do its job, but it can also be taken by those in stage 4 and 5 if they can fit the extra water in their water allowance, which is not always the case, unfortunately. And this is the reason why it's only number 3 in today's top 5. But don't get me wrong, it can really help. Now we are going to see some methods that work in all the stages and that have also been used in some studies to completely replace the big D machine. All the supplements we have seen until now have been used with some success to slow down the decline of GFR and lower creatinine levels. Our number 2, on the other hand, reached a goal that is often considered impossible, still today. Number 2 is activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is really interesting for us for 2 reasons. First, it was used in at least 2 different studies to get people out of their dependency for the big D machine. And also, it can protect people with CRF in any stage from the dangers of excess phosphorus. Question: what is activated charcoal and why is it so powerful? If you have never used it, activated charcoal, or AC in short, is used by many people for its benefits. It works because 1 teaspoonful of AC has more surface area than a football field. This makes it extremely absorbent, and once ingested, it acts like a powerful scrub for your body. It binds to all sorts of scores in the intestines, reducing the wear and tear on the nephrons. Researchers believe that activated charcoal is especially effective at removing scores derived from urea, urine toxins, creatinine, and phosphorus. This is why it can be used to completely stop RRT in people with stage 5 ESRD. In this study in particular, 5 test subjects were followed for at least 6 months and up to 10 months after stopping RRT. The protocol used, which consisted in activated charcoal, lactulose, and a third step that we will see in a moment, was able to keep all the test subjects in good conditions, despite they needed RRT and they didn't receive it. They, however, received a large amount of activated charcoal during the study, 30 to 45 grams a day, plus lactulose. Now, a different study involving 9 test subjects this time saw an even more remarkable result. This trial was conducted on 9 test subjects with a mean age of 84 years who refused to start a big D machine. All of them were in stage 5. Thanks to activated charcoal plus a specially crafted way of eating, they were able to avoid RRT for several months, some of them for years. Another benefit of activated charcoal. Now, it's also worth mentioning that people with CRF in stage 3 and 4 may use activated charcoal to lower their phosphorus levels. This is what a study published in the Journal of Nephrology found out. In this study conducted in Japan, small doses of activated charcoal, 0.6 to 1.2 grams, were administered 3 times a day at meals. People were found to be way less likely to develop high phosphorus levels and, even more important, vascular calcification. Time now for our number 1 for today. Now guys, all the studies involving the suspension of RRT in those who needed it involved not just a score absorber such as lactulose or activated charcoal, but also a way to ingest way less toxins. This special way of eating is our number 1 for today because it's a must in all the stages of CRF. Before we see it, a special mention for a supplement that I've not included in this top 5. Acacia fiber. Acacia fiber works in a similar way to activated charcoal. Just like activated charcoal, it was used in 9 people who needed RRT. but he didn't receive it. They were only given acacia fiber, and that lowered their creatinine levels so efficiently that some of them were able to go on for years without any form of RRT. Now guys, if you want to know more about acacia fiber, in my video up here you can find all the info you need about it. Time to see the number 1. This is one of the most effective forms of conservative management for ESRD, but it's also proven to slow down GFR decline in all the stages. This dietary approach could literally delay RRT initiation by 10 years or more if implemented correctly. I'm talking about number 1, VLPD. The VLPD, or very low protein diet, is a special way of eating for people with CRF. It is mostly used for treating the advanced stages, but can be beneficial for every single CRF sufferer. The VLPD was a very important part of the method used in the stage 5 CKD patients that were able to go on for years without RRT thanks to activated charcoal. It was also used in the study involving lactulose and in the studies involving acacia fiber. So it looks like this is a crucial step to protect the precious filtering system of the body. Now, the biggest advantage of the VLPD treatment compared to the other treatments of this video is that it has been used on thousands of people with CRF. And it's proven that it works both as a way of slowing down the decline of GFR in people in stage 4 and as a complementary therapy in stage 5. And this way of eating really works, and today the VLPD is very common in Europe, so there is enough data today to be 100% sure that it works. I've made a full video about it recently. It's up here if you want to know more. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless.